Hey guys, this is Turok, and in this video I'm going to be doing, I don't know how long this will be. This will be rather short. I'm not going to do a full review. I wanted to talk briefly about the movie The Martian. So 2 months ago I did a video on Project Hail Mary, and what's his name that gave me, it's a very good criticism. Thank you, Dolores Season 5686. Thank you very much for your criticism. I finally just got around to, not got around. I put it off. I was watching a lot of other stuff. I've been watching way too much anime, and I was trying to catch up. After your criticism too, I started following up on some other sci-fi movies I've been meaning to get to, and this is specifically about The Martian with Matt Damon, the adaptation of a novel, and I must say, yes, it was quite good. I finished it last night. I watched the whole thing in one go, and I actually need to make some time this week to watch it again because that was probably one of the best, like, slow burn. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Like a movie where it's like intense but like not fast paced, like movies I've seen. The closest other movie I can think of that's like that I enjoyed was that sports drama esque movie called The Greatest Game Ever Played with Shia LaBeouf from 2005, where that movie's about 2 hours. This movie's a lot longer, but that one's a 2 hour movie, but felt much longer. It's in of itself relatively, where like I enjoy the drama going on there with that, and it's like this was so enjoyable in that similar way, and I am so mad did not see this movie until now because this came out almost exactly 10 years ago when in October it will be, and God damn, what a movie! The way they presented all the stuff with Matt Damon and the other characters was so perfectly executed. And I want to give credit because I like reading a lot of books. I must first give credit to the novel. The novel. This is a adaptation, and I think a lot of people sometimes I see a lot of comments like this that get like, oh, the greatest film trilogy or something like that. I was seeing this the other day. I'm gonna do a little tangent here that relates to this. So I was listening to something about Quentin Tarantino saying that he thought the best movie trilogy was Toy Story, and a lot of people were getting mad saying, "Oh, what about uh, the Lord of the Rings?" And I understand where those comments are coming from, and but I also understand where I think Quentin Tarantino may have been coming from. I split this both ways. All right, this is a little extra chopstick. I like waving it around. Um, I think there should be sometimes a distinction there of movie trilogies and other films that are adaptations versus original stories written and it only goes into a film or some other medium like art, like cartoons or something different. And when Quentin Tarantino was talking about that distinction, I can't help but think he might have been thinking about that, unless he was just forgetting Lord of the Rings, that he might have been thinking of Toy Story as a story that was not some kind of film adaptation. I don't think it was. Versus Lord of the Rings, which is an excellent trilogy, but one based upon an author, again, writing a concise story and filling in all this stuff. And so the same way, The Martian, I want to just bring us back to The Martian. This is a excellent film, but also I think you always got to consider sometimes whether or not the film has a book adaptation or not. I think both deserve credit if you have an adaptation that's done well, because there's been terrible adaptations. Look at all these fantasy films. Look what happened when Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings did so well in the 2000s. Like Hollywood studios were gobbling up every other like book adaptation rights they could, and there were so many bad ones. There was that one, I can't remember the name of the book. I read it. The book I read, and I didn't like the book that much. Like, it didn't have a satisfying conclusion mostly. And that got gobbled up into a movie and made into a movie with Brendan Fraser. What was that called? The Ink Master or something. Anyways, there could be a bad adaptations, but anyways, yeah. The Martian is really good because it just like follows through all this stuff with execution of all the story parts and give characters so much, just enough time, I think, to do. which is something that's hard because I thought it was interesting because Matt Damon is the centerpiece of this story. So to give a quick summary, he's he's part of a team of astronauts that have arrived on Mars and are doing studies of the landscape, like all the kind of stuff they would do. I can't think of the words. The studying the soil, the atmosphere, and all this stuff, probably for like human colonization someday. And then due to I think it was a bad storm, they have to evacuate and get back into orbit. And in all the shit happening, Matt Damon's character is what's his name? Matt. No, his name was Mark in there. Watney. Mark Watney, not Matt. I was thinking it was Matt like him. Okay, I'm gonna just I might say Matt sometimes. I'll just forget. His character gets left behind because he gets hit by an object from one of their camp thing. I think it's like the antenna for the communication, and then he's presumed dead, and the others have to hurry escape. Or they all would have actually died because the shuttle they're in would have fallen over and they can't launch. Anyways, he ends up still being alive, and then the campground stuff, most of it is intact, and then he plots a way to stay alive because he's like a botanist and is able to work with the equipment, knows enough of the equipment to work it. Plus, he's an expert in understanding how to grow stuff, and he ends up growing potatoes and stuff to stay alive. But so while he's doing this stuff, the other focal point of the story is mostly on about 5 or 6 main characters from NASA and them figuring out, oh, he's still alive. How can we bring him home? So I bring that up because Matt Damon takes up probably 70 to 80% of the screen time, but they did so well with the NASA characters and keeping them, having them given enough screen time there. We especially have like Jeff Bridges and Sean Bean and I think that's Christian Wiig being a focal. Oh no, and there was what's the guy's name from I forget. So yeah, Chiwetel was his name. The guy from who's the other person I'm missing? Him and Jeff Bridges and Sean Bean, and there's that guy who plays there's a whole bunch of people in here. Sorry, I can't think of all their names right now. I should have pulled up the cast. They're just so good as a supporting cast in here, and then they had they had a good cast for the supporting crew members. I was a little slightly disappointed that they didn't get enough screen time in here. There was Jessica Chastain, Michael Pena, Sebastian Stan was in here, and these people all just so good. Oh yeah, Benedict Wong and Donald Glover too. The cast in here was just stellar. I feel like they're a little underutilized, but at the same time, that's probably how it is in Hollywood. Anyways, I'm gonna go with this. Yeah, I'm just so now that I saw this movie, I'm trying to think. I gotta go back and look at so many other movies I've heard about in the last 15 years, but did not try watching and get back into this. So ever since I got this recommendation from what's your name again? Dolores Season to watch this one, I've been trying to find other movies. At this point though, I think I'm gonna go next into like catching up on Alien Earth just came out, and I want to watch that now that I've watched Romulus, and I did my review on that. I guess technically this is a review, but I'll have to do a full review maybe someday. I'm trying to find other stuff to watch now, and I'm gonna be looking back now. So. Anyways, yeah, in short, in conclusion, thank you very much for getting on to me on my ass basically about this, because this was something I should have never waited too long to see. Although I appreciate doing it now, because at this point in my life, I'm realizing I should try to spread out my time more to watch more movies and split that time among playing video games and other stuff, because that's what's been happening 10 years ago when I was like, skipping over movies like this. I was spending too much time kind of catch up on video games instead, because when I was younger, I didn't have the money to play a lot of video games in my teenage years formative years. And so, like 10 years ago, I was like spending too much time trying to look for video games to catch up on, and I was skipping over movies. And that was one thing when I was a lot younger. I used to watch more movies. I'd wait for them to come on to like TNT and all that stuff. And now I'm like trying to play catch up again. I've been doing horrible at balancing. I'm trying more now to balance too with anime and stuff. I'll have to do a separate video, but in conclusion, I'm doing like, and I'm trying to. I primarily do my channel on reviewing One Piece, but like I've been watching Sakamoto Days and Didan. How do you say that? And Jujutsu Kaisen, and keep up on stuff like that. But then now I got to add in movies to that and stuff. So, all right, back to The Martian. Excellent movie, 10 out of 10 movie. My biggest gripes just basically is that some of the characters like Sean Bean and stuff, I wanted them to have more screen time. I love watching anything with Sean Bean in it. Oh, by the way, Dad, too, I'm watching his show called Sharp from the 90s. He is so good in that, and that show is so fun because it's like, it's more like watching a movie series. It's like watching the Marvel universe before that in like terms of like the screen time of that. And so I'm really getting into that too. And all right, back to The Martian. Sorry. Check out The Martian. Check out more stuff like that. I can't wait for Project Hail Mary now, which is written by the same author. Now it's getting adapted to a film with who's that? That's no, can't think of his name right now. You know who it is. He was on in great. I can't think. Anyways, you should watch these kind of sci-fi films. If you're into these slow burn movies and you want to have something different from like John Wick or the Jurassic Park or the Marvel, check out these slow burn sci-fi movies. They're awesome. Anyways, I'm going to just stop here. Thanks for watching.